Hey everybody, it's RIA here, just hopping on real quick. Just wanted to share a little experience with you that I just had this morning. And the experience brings us back to the theme of reaching for the higher frequency, reaching the higher love, knowing that everything in our life is a reflection of our love and it is there to serve us, And so this brings me to the example. I was thinking about it as I was doing my little kickboxing video. So I'm just hopping on, as is, brush my hair and stuck some lipstick on. Hey Jen, thanks for joining. So the little example that I want to use on you guys, and not on you, but share with you, is something that you all have probably experienced. So I went under my messenger this morning and I had a message from a friend, somebody that I know personally. And it said, oh, didn't know I would see you on YouTube like this. And it had little smileys and stuff like that. And I know this person personally. I do YouTube videos. So I thought maybe she was making reference to an old video with my kids or something that I did, sharing messages and stuff like that. And I says, oh, I'm curious of what it was. So my immediate reaction was, oh, positivity, it must be something cute, let me check it out. So as I tried to open up the link, it wouldn't open up. It would take me to having to put my email and password and then to get some app, and then it felt fishy, and I went back to it again and I looked at it a little closer, and at the bottom of the YouTube link it said something about nasty videos, and I'm like, huh? And then all of a sudden fear overwhelmed me. So initially, and this is beautiful because what it did is it taught it taught me about myself. Everything is to teach you about yourself and reflect yourself. So initially, that's really beautiful. I thought it was something beautiful. But then when I couldn't open it, and then I saw that it was something to do with a nasty video, then I replied to her and I said, I can't open this link. And something felt fishy. And then later on, she messaged me back and she says, I got hacked. Delete it. And then I'm like, oh, I probably should change my password. But what it did is the fear part, that's what I want to focus on. So that video from somebody else who got hacked came into my awareness because it was projecting. It was letting loose the little devils in my box, say little shadow sides, little pieces of me that I might be holding judgment. So the person that got hacked by a hacker, the way to reach for the higher frequency, instead of getting mad, say, well, how come I brought this in my reality? How did it serve me? So somebody who gets hacked, in general, the higher perspective might mean that maybe they're not trusting the universe. Maybe they think the universe is out to get them. Maybe, to me, it shows maybe emitting an energy of not trusting in the process, not trusting in life, not trusting in the reflection. And then me, as the receiver, it's frozen. Oh, I don't see it frozen on my end. Hey, Suzanne. Oh my God, I don't see it frozen on my end. Am I back or not back, guys? Am I still frozen? If you guys are there, can you let me know if I'm frozen? I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? I don't know why Max is barking. It's fine. Oh, hey, Kim. Thank you for joining. So, all right. On my end, it didn't show it. It didn't show it that I was... somebody is here. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay, guys. Real life. Somebody is here. Hold on. Get Max. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Real life. Oh, you're here early. Yeah. So come on in. Sorry, guys.
I didn't want to hold up your Saturday.
Nope, you're good. I don't want to hold up yours. Come on in. Go up. Sorry, guys. So when you go to the top of the stairs, you could actually see the airway and the light. But I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm doing a live video. Sorry, guys. So you just got to go with the flow. You got to go with the flow, right? All right. So the hacker's energy, that could just show something if she looks at it at a way like, how did I present this in my reality? It could just show that mistrust that you might be feeling within you. So me being the one getting hacked and then having it to do with maybe some sexual exploitation, then it made me get really scared and think, oh my God, I don't have anything out there like that. But what it did is it gave me an opportunity to see why I would react like that, like maybe scared of something being revealed behind locked doors. So, exposing that, maybe judgment or repression sexually within myself, something I judge as maybe not so hot, not good. And so it gave me an opportunity to examine myself through that projection, if that makes sense to you guys. And then releasing that. It's like sometimes when you're giving those little shots, little incidences, they allow you to experience something within yourself without it actually even happening, and to re-examine your beliefs, or to acknowledge maybe some shadows. And shadows are the little devils let out of the box when we get in those situations like, oh my God, like that kind of stuff. So thank you for your input, guys, and patience. So those situations allow us to have the experience without actually experiencing it, if that makes sense, which allow us to let out the shadows, the little devils. Devils are just the shadows, something we have repressed within ourselves, something within ourselves we still might not be accepting, or something that we are judging within ourselves, if that makes sense. So I took it and reached for the higher frequency. Instead of getting mad and saying, oh man, I'm so sick of this crap, can't be trusted, internet's not safe, I gotta put up all these security walls, because I'm not into any of that, I don't like passwords, I don't like any of that stuff. But instead of getting all upset about the situation and staying in the fear mode and thinking I need to build up more walls, I chose the higher frequency and say, how does this serve me? Because I know through my, it's my truth, but I think it's true, period. But through our frequency, we project things in our life that help us to look at ourselves. So there was still a little deposit, there was still a little devil in the box that was brought forth from me being the receiver end of someone else getting hacked. And it was all beautiful. And I said, well, how is this? What do I have to learn from it? So that's how we reach for the higher frequency, no matter what it is in life. Maybe you got a ticket for some illegal parking. Just ask yourself, all right, I got a ticket. My ego isn't very happy with it, but what is the higher meaning of this? How is this serving me? And whenever you do that, you're automatically tuning in and connected and being that higher frequency, the God self part of you. And as you do that, you allow higher expressions of you to come through. So what you did is you, instead of creating a block and getting mad and saying, geez and crow, don't these police officers have something effing better to do than giving me a ticket? Then you allow to receive the higher frequency of that. And in that you release a blockage and you allow yourself to project out the higher frequency, to keep growing and expanding. And all of life is a projection to serve us, to help us to become more in alignment to the truth of who we are, God source energy, pure God source love and light, guys. How beautiful. And so after that experience, I thanked myself for it. I mean, not myself, well, myself in the universe. I said, thanks for bringing that into my awareness. I see now that I might be holding on and need to release some shadows, or acknowledge and accept it within myself, release judgment or ideas and thoughts that no longer serve me, if that makes sense. Hey, Kim, how are you this morning? So instead of, I felt really guided to just read one paragraph in my book here. Usually I let Spirit pick, but because we are one with Spirit and we are one with God Source Energy, I feel guided to just read this one. And what it is entitled is, How Many Licks Does It Take to Get to the Center of a Tootsie Pop? Because that's essentially what we're here, guys. We're removing the layers. We're removing the layers, and we can make those layers, those illusions that are blocking or helping us to forget who we really are, as we can remove, like I always say, we got these layers over us that we're always the love and light, but sometimes we have beliefs, paradigms, shadows, thoughts within ourselves that are blocking that light. And as we can remove them more and more and more, life gives us incidences, situations, opportunities every minute of our life to remove the layers and to expose the truth of who we really are. And we can make those incidents as sweet or as sour as we want through our frequency, through choosing the higher love. I'm very good, Kim. I'm glad you're better. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get your text or message until this morning. I just got done kickboxing, and I was just sharing an incident of receiving, a fake mail, fake message. So as we can see all of those situations where we feel we're a victim, where we feel we've been done wrong, and we can reach for the higher frequency and allow it to work for us, when we see it from the higher frequency, we will get a sweeter taste from that experience. Like that host example I just shared with you guys about receiving the false YouTube mail about a video, blah, blah, blah. And I could have gotten really mad, really scared, and saying, I'm so sick of this stupid stuff, and created walls. But instead I said, how does this serve me? How does this allow me? How is this a projection of my energy? And when you do that, you make the experience sweeter, and you extract a higher frequency to work for you. It's all you guys. It's all you. You're the creator, and you're the receiver of everything. And it's up to you through your frequency, through reaching for the higher love, the higher frequency, that you get that frequency back. And so I love this little paragraph, and it says, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And it says there are many different layers of truth. Of course there are, because for every frequency that we are connected to being emitting, that is going to be projected in a layer of truth. It's true if you believe it. And your truth and your belief and what you're projecting, living, and being is based on your frequency. So it says there are many different layers in truth. Many use the analogy of peeling the layers of an onion back to describe the many layers or facets of ourselves before reaching the center of godliness. We're always this. I prefer to use the analogy of the Tootsie Pop. How many licks does it take to reach the center of our Tootsie Roll center, our treasure chest? So like I said, we can make it as crying, like peeling back the onions, as painful. I don't like that analogy. Me as the creator, I'd rather lick something sweet and taste it yummy and have it be a little bit pleasanter of an experience. It's all up to us, and it's based on our frequency. Discovering our truth, our own self-knowledge in this symbolism brings a more pleasant taste to our being. Each of life's experiences can be viewed as a positive experience, and another layer we taste that leads to our inner being. As we each enjoy our individual preference and flavor, it will lead us to our treasures. So that kind of has a double meaning. It's like if you can reach for the higher frequency when something's projected and make it work for you, that's going to have a much sweeter flavor. It's going to get you through the experience quicker because you're connecting to the truth of the situation, and the truth, which is light and love, is always going to feel better. It also lets us know when we're living in the frequency of who we are, the truth of who we are, our joy, our passions, what we enjoy doing, and we're connecting to that truth, and that's also going to feel and taste better to us. There are many truths that can be equally passion-filled to each individual. They all lead to the center called truth, and they are all connected to an intricate web that creates life. All truths are based in love, which is one and the same as God. To live our passion is to release the power and to put God, life, in motion, which always operates for good. I just love that because it's like so positive, and it's so freeing, and it's so beautiful to know you're never a victim. You don't need to be a martyr. It's all based on our frequency, and all truths are valid based on the frequency that we are. Like in the past, like the cavemen, they would have experienced different truths based on their frequencies, and that was true for them. Just like now, our truth is a different frequency, so our truth is projecting and creating a different reality. As with, say, galactic beings, their truth is based on their frequency, which is even less limiting and more freeing. We, at the truth of who we are free. We are God's self-source energy just wanting to be forth and expressed. And the more truer connection we can have to that love and light that we are, the truer the expression, the more fulfilling. It's like purified water or crystal clear water, spring water. It tastes good. It's healthier for us. It feels better. But if we pour some stuff in it, say some pollutants, say some a little bit of dirt, a little bit of mud, and then we make the water muddy. The base of the water was still the same, but we've contaminated it by adding these different things. The same with us. The base of who we are, the truth of who we are is this, but when we sprinkle little layers of lower frequencies on us, then I don't want to say contaminates, because things are as they should be, but it dilutes the truth of the light and love that we are. Just like the water we drink. If we put a bunch of stuff in it, it dilutes the integrity. And I'm not saying that any of those things that we experience, we chose them as a creator too, simply to illuminate our light. So it's kind of a paradox. Even the truths that we create, or the untruths and the illusions, are still there for us to expand the light and love that we are. It's all just for greater expansion and love and light. So always reach for that higher frequency. Always reach for the higher truth. Always search for the positive, because it all is truly to serve us. It's all for self-realization. It's all to get us to the center of the Tootsie Pop. It's all to get us to the treasure. Just open up our chest, reach in, and express it. All right. Hey Jen. Hey Mary Jo. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. So I just needed to share that. You guys can look back at the beginning if you want to know what I talked about. I'll pull one Mother Earth heart card for you guys. One for any viewer watching now or later. I'll pull a Mother Earth heart card. Her heart is one with us. She's a physical embodiment and representation of balance, harmony, abundance, self-sustaining, healing, growth, expansion, peace, harmony, all that we are. And when we step out into that and we connect to that Mother Earth, whether physically or even in our mind, because energy, there's no barriers to energy. It's all intent. It's all your focus. That is what you get from it. So Mother Earth, because she is that perfect reflection, that there's a relation there. It helps us to remember. It activates us. It helps to cleanse and nourish our heart and soul. So these cards, Mother Earth heart cards, they're all just to help to bring us into a greater alignment of who we are. Kind of like to put the water through, you know, what I said just a second ago, that contaminated water, and kind of cleansing it through a filter, a natural filter, coal, what have you, to purify it. As we become in alignment to our heart, we just become a truer expression of our light and love, and it can come forth more strongly. And as we're connected to it, obviously that's what we're producing in our life, and that's what we live. So the little card that popped out for today, I like this card. It's nice. To me, it's a seaweed on the beach. You can see it's all seaweed. It's funny how that loops around there. But it's a heart, and what stands out to me is the openness, of course. To me, you know what, this can mean different things. Sometimes it can be like discontinuing of energy, but which also goes with being open. So it's not being too structured. To me, it shows an opening. Allow your heart always to be open. Open to reaching for the higher frequencies, which in turn operate releasing the higher frequencies. Open to new ideas. Open without judgment. Open, allowing. That's the word, allowing. Through being open, you allow. You don't close the door. It's not completely shut there. So through your openness and through your allowing and through living life through, like, you know, the heart and the eyes of a child in the state of wonder and curiosity, you allow without judgment. You allow, even when you get that fake message or someone trying to hack you. Look at it and curious. How does this serve me? What do I get to learn? What message is there for me? How beautiful. Instead of feeling the victim, like see the tread marks here on the sand, you know, the seaweed sweeper, picker upper. So even the things that you feel aren't serving you and that don't feel so great, and your initial reaction might be to step in fear, then once you feel that fear, step back and say, why do I feel that fear? What is in with, what little shadow, what little, we'll call devil, what in me am I judging? What is it that I need to acknowledge or release? In approaching it that way, you create an openness to gain the higher frequency, to gain the higher love for whatever this little thing is that just ran you over, whether it be a ticket on your car, whether it be subpoenaed to court, whether it be hacked or whatever it is. If you can allow the opening and say, how does this serve me? How is this teaching me something about myself that's bringing me to a greater expansion of love and light? Oh my God, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Because what you just did is you shifted your energy to a higher frequency in that wonder, in that trust, and believing something bigger. You shifted your frequency, and then you gain that back from that situation, from that experience. And what it says is, the actual message is heart truth. And it says, if it's in your heart, then it's in your power. For all true power comes from the heart. And the heart is eternal. It's the eternal well of love and light. It's the eternal life. It's eternal. Anything is possible. You can take any situation through the openness of the heart, and any situation in life, and you can transform it to work for you, transform it in your expansion. And if there is something that is in your heart, guys, if one of you guys out there have something in your heart that you're yearning for that hasn't yet become manifest, let go of the expectations and be open. Be open for the universe, which is really you, bringing forth, syncing up the perfect outcome for you. If it's in your heart, it's there. You just need to shift to the frequency where you are in sync. You are in sync with that manifestation. And maybe that manifestation wants to come in a different way that the mind is so dead set in. If you can release the expectation, believe it in your heart, know it's there, but release the expectation, then you allow it to come to you. You allow it to find you in a greater expression than maybe what the mind is limited. Sometimes the mind, it's a beautiful marriage. I think the ego, the human mind, there's a beautiful marriage of that in the spiritual self. But if you're operating just from here with an expectation, and the mind can only expect from the past and experiences that has experienced. We're here to create new. So whatever's in your heart desire is coming forth. It might just come forth in the new energy because you're operating at a higher frequency. If that makes sense, you guys. All right, guys. So thank you for listening. If it's in your heart, it's true. Reach for the higher frequencies, even if you feel like you're being run over. And one other little thing that stands out is this little mouth. There's little lips here, and there's little eyes and nose. And it's like the heart knows. The heart knows all the truth. It's okay, even though you might feel like this little eye looks a little bit shut. Even though you might not see it and understand it, the heart knows. The heart knows. Open up. Just open up and allow. Release the resistance of expectations, judgment, criticism, and you open up to eternal possibilities. All right, guys. May you all shine with the entirety of all the light that you are.